Hello everybody, I'm DurchBurch, and welcome to another rant. I know you guys got a rant just recently with the Symmetry rant, but now there's another one. I'm sorry guys, I've had a lot to rant about recently. So, today's rant, I actually have props for, because, I mean, you guys have seen it already. I always do this for things where it's revealed what I'm talking about in the thumbnail and the title. But it's about the grips in Switch cases. Let me, as quietly as possible, open this all the way over here. Okay, I think that went pretty effectively. But if you look, there are little grips in here as if for a manual. But there's no manual in here. Not even 1-2 Switch comes with a manual. Does Zelda come with a manual? Oh, I did that one too close to the microphone. Gonna have to adjust that. Look at that! Grips! So the real question a lot of people had is, why are they using those? That seems like a waste of plastic. And also, why are Switch cases so big? That seems like a waste of plastic. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is 1, why the grips are a thing, and 2, why the cases are this size. So this question really is the same regardless. It's the question of, why are the cases, or the answer to this question is really just the fact that it's to fit possible amiibo cards, and if a manufacturer wants to do, or if a publisher wants to do a manual, they can do a manual. Binding of Isaac has a 20-page manual that comes tucked in right here, right in the top, right there. But it can be used for amiibo cards, and a lot of people have been like, why would they, make a card holder for you? Like, whenever I would bring this up, they're like, why would they make an amiibo card holder for you? They have cases for cards and stuff, and you can just put it in a card holder. And it's like, it's not for you to store your cards. Like, I'm not going to take, my Shadow Mewtwo from Pokken Tournament. Check it out somewhat quietly over there. I'm going to take Shadow Mewtwo from that and just keep it in there. Because, wow, what a convenient holder. Like, that's not the reason I would do that. Even though it fits perfectly. Oh wait, it fits perfectly. And you know where, like, they had to put Shadow Mewtwo in Pokken Tournament? In with the safety manual. Tucked up right here in one grip. A very insecure holding position. And that is really why we have the Shadow, or not the Shadow Mewtwo, but that's why we have the grips. If you look, Shadow Mewtwo is pretty much the size of any standard amiibo card. You can see it fits very well in those 2 clips. It stays right there. There's no wiggle. So you really force it. This is the ultimate way to be able to release promotional amiibo cards. Like, for Wii U cases, they weren't designed with amiibo cards in mind. Like, they weren't designed to throw them in. So when they threw them in, they just fit here, like that, awkwardly in the corner. Or down here, like that. Boop, the microphone's, thing, but anyways, down here in the corner, awkwardly like that. If I want it in the center, it's gonna slide around. Oh no, it fell out. Like, that's exactly what happens. That is why they made a tiny little set of clips. And that's why all the cases are this high. And you might be asking, well, why don't they do that just for ones that are coming with promotional amiibos? Well, it means that they can't make those ones in bulk. And if they can't make it in bulk, it's more expensive for them, which means lower profits for them, so they can increase, or so they're more likely to have to increase the price just for that. So if they released a game that came with an amiibo card, so let's say this is Pokken Tournament 2, and it comes with another Shadow Mewtwo. Well, my Shadow Mewtwo, case would have to be this tall to be able to fit the game and the card. Now, if they don't have much space, they can't do the clips here as effectively, where it's like this. This might interfere. Actually, I should show this a bit better, where the clips are on this side like this. This is a much thinner case. When I close it, the grips on the top act partially as supports for the front of the case. So if I were to have clips on this side, you might run into a couple issues trying to cut, or trying to shut it properly. But the biggest thing that happens is they have to make it taller if they don't want it to be on this side. Like if they had it on this side and made it a very small case, something like a DS or a 3DS game case, but even smaller because the cards are smaller, they could do that. It would just be so hard to be able to fit promotional materials like that. So they designed it so that they can release amiibo cards if need be. Because if you do it in such a small quantity, then like, let's say I buy Pokken Tournament 2 with the Shadow Mewtwo. This might be $70 instead of $60, because now they have to pay for the amiibo card, they have to pay for the extra plastic, they have to pay for the limited manufacturing that this type of case would be getting. This really isn't that much. They're not going to release a massive number. It's going to be in the millions, but it's going to be much less than the things not releasing with amiibo cards. Like Breath of the Wild has no card. 1-2 Switch has no card. These games are being produced in the millions, and their cases have to be produced in the millions. There are literally tens to hundreds of millions more cases that would be for games like this without cards than for games like Pokken Tournament or the, made-up Pokken Tournament 2 that would have, an actual amiibo card. Let's say maybe Animal Crossing on the Switch. It could come with an amiibo card. It could come with a pack of amiibo cards. And they can just tuck them in right at the top, and no one would complain that now they that they have to pay more for the game they wanted because of its lack of card space in the normal packaging. And it is true, producing in bulk gets so much cheaper. Like I could buy 5,000 pounds of peanuts where 1 pound of peanuts is under $1. You try to buy a pound of peanuts anywhere, you're gonna pay several dollars. Like, if I try to buy, one cardboard box, it might be like $5 to $10. Like, one, decent sized cardboard box. Like, maybe that big and that big. But if I buy hundreds, thousands of them, then it gets cheaper. Because you're spending more money buying the product. It has lower profitability for them, but it cements you as a customer much more easily. So that's what they did with this. They got a massive amount of these produced, like this. Even though this case, like if I take out 1-2 Switch's cover, there we go. They produced a massive amount of these types of cases. I'm even going to remove the game. No game in there. They've produced so many of these. But they're not going to produce... Tuck that over to the side. They're not going to produce a lot of these to come with these. Which means it ends up costing a ton of money to be able to produce cases. Can't quite do this from behind easily. There we go. They aren't going to be producing a ton of cases like these. These are going to be rarities. Which means they're going to be so expensive. Like, there's no reason for that. And I'm honestly happy that Nintendo decided to go this route. It's the most efficient route for themselves, and the most efficient route for customers if they do plan to continue making amiibo. Especially amiibo cards, and they do plan to continue making amiibo and amiibo cards. And yes, hypothetically, you could use the clips as an amiibo card storage, but no one's going to do that. They're going to use an actual card storing mechanism of some sort. But still, it isn't a bad idea to produce a bunch of cases like this, even if the game is only this big and the case is this big. Like, it's perfectly reasonable, at least to me. From like an economic standpoint, this is the smarter case to produce. It is also much more eye-catching. Like, the thing is, I also saw the argument, well, I mean, I know this rant's supposed to be mainly about the groups, but it's primarily about the design of the cases. But a lot of people were like, well, no one cares how big the case is. It doesn't have to be eye-catching. What's the point of a case being eye-catching? There's no reason for that. If a gamer's gonna buy a game, they're gonna buy a game. It's like, an eye-catching case isn't for the gamer. I see Breath of the Wild. If I just see this logo, it could be, this much. I see that, I'm gonna buy it because it's Breath of the Wild. Of course I'm gonna get that. But if you are a random person and you don't know, let's say you have no idea what Legend of Zelda is. There are people like that. There are people who don't know what that is. So they go and they just see this epic scene. Like, this is the primary thing they see. A guy looking out over a vast field. With crazy hills and cliffs everywhere. They see that. You see 1-2 switch. You see people staring at each other. I thought this was a game. What is that supposed to mean? You see things like, in larger cases, like on the Wii U, Pokken Tournament, you see, wow, why are Pikachu and Lucario looking so epic and fighting each other? There's an amiibo card. What is an amiibo? What is that? Like, you see these. They're meant to catch your eye from a distance. If I had this case, but I shrank it down to this big, because that size will fit the cart. It's just very tiny. If I shrunk it down to that size, no one's gonna see it. No one's going to buy it if they don't go there looking for it or looking for the game. You have to market with your actual packaging. Packaging is a part of marketing, and people don't understand that. It is one of the fundamental pieces of marketing. You want your package to look clean. If your package has brown spots on it by design, you're a bad designer of packaging. Like, oh, I'm selling, the finest chicken breast in all the land. It's so good, it's so tender, and it's so juicy. My packaging also has weird brown stains on it, but that's not stains. That's the design I wanted it to go for. I feel like it's an abstract way to show, this is how juicy it gets. It's so juicy, it gets juice all over the packaging. It's like, it looks bad. You don't do that. It's the same reason you don't make game cases tiny. If you make them tiny, it doesn't quite work for marketing purposes. Like, I could go on and on about this. Like, it's just a bad idea. I could release a game case for the Switch this big. This big. It's the size of sticky notes. Oh, I can go right now. Actually, I have the Switch already open. I can just go. Look at this. I can just put it right there. It fits the game well. But why would I do that? Because that means that the 1-2 switch stuff, like this artwork, has to basically be on this. This is tiny. There's no reason to put artwork on this if you're gonna try and sell it. you don't get that marketing bonus from your packaging at that point. Like, in marketing, size matters. And so in packaging, size matters. To be honest, the only case for the Switch that I could actually go ahead and say that is ridiculous is the Master Edition Breath of the Wild case that is like several feet tall and like a foot wide. Or not several feet tall, but like 2.5 feet tall and like over a foot wide. It's like this big. It is massive, and then you open it up and you still have this case. You just get this artwork really big. And that's the other thing, you also get a lot of nice artwork. Go to that. That looks really nice. So, like, you have access to really good art. And you have access to putting things like amiibos in there. It's just, all around it seems like a good thing to me. Now, it doesn't say whether or not this case is recycled. I mean, Wii U cases were, from what I can remember, made of recycled plastic. They have a big recycled logo. Either that or they're trying to say that it's recycled, though. But it says it's an eco box. Very thin plastic. But I'm pretty sure this plastic was recycled plastic. I don't know if they did that for the Switch or not. And they may have, decided to go against that for, pricing reasons, and that's understandable. But yeah, it's like, you can't criticize the Switch's cases too much. Yeah, they're pretty big, but they're big within reason. They're very thin. They're very thin cases. Look at that. This is so thin for how big the case is otherwise. Like, it's basically as thick as any of its support structure has to be. Like, I shut this case, and yeah, I can see in there. If I shut the case, is this one shut? Yeah, this one's shut. Just take a look. There is no gap between the top part of the holder for the cart and this. This is also extremely thin but sturdy plastic, which is nice. It actually might be part of the reason they went for a smaller form factor than something like this. These ones, their cases are about as thick. Like their thickness, at least plastic-wise, is about the same. The Wii U is actually a thicker overall case, like a couple millimeters. But this is much more flimsy than this. So a smaller form factor was smarter, but also having it, still big enough for marketing purposes. I don't have an issue with this. Some people are like, but it's going to hurt the portability of it. It's like, don't keep them in the case at all times. Like, you can get a carrying case for the games. I keep my 3DS and DS titles in bags, like little plastic baggies. It looks like I'm carrying drugs around. Like, I pull them out of, like, a little pouch, and there's just this ball of, like, white something wrapped up in a plastic bag, or like dark gray something wrapped up in a plastic bag. It looks really suspicious, but that is how I carry all of my games around. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do that with Switch carts yet or not, but I can tell you I am not going to always use the cases everywhere I go. That would just be stupid. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you've stuck around for this one, thank you. I always say this at the end of my rants. What are your thoughts on the Switch's packaging and Nintendo's decisions, about that? Do you think that they will actually use that for Amiibo, like that grip section for Amiibo cards? Do you think that, the case is too large? Do you think it should be smaller? Do you think it should be bigger, actually? Throw that in there. How large of a case do you feel would be more apt if you feel that this one is either too small or too big? Like, what is a better size in your opinion? Well, that's about it. Yeah. Rant done, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to play this, though. Just saying. I'm one of the few. One of the few. But yeah. Cases are marketing. So. Wow. Right before I go and end it, someone has to slam some door. Oh man. A lot of usage of that hallway door. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it after I edit this audio, but it's pretty loud. There was one. There we go. That one's going to be hard to fully remove from the audio. You're probably going to hear something of that. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go now. Just gonna carry on my way. Hopefully, I'll have filled in all of my spring break video slots. If not, this might be one of the last ones. There might be a couple more days with them, but no guarantees. I mean, I'm recording this the Wednesday before I leave, and I leave Friday this coming, or this week. So, I mean, I do have time for recording more stuff. It all depends on homework. Will the homework treat me kind? Let's see. Yeah, I should be able to get some more stuff out. So yeah, if there's more stuff coming this week, you will see it in your subscriptions if you're subscribed. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna go. I've just kind of been sitting here making weird statements. So yeah. Thanks so much for watching my video. You see those thumbnails? The one on the left is recommended to you by YouTube. The one on the right is my most recent video. If you want to see more of my content, don't hesitate to subscribe. I'm also on the channel Pokemon News, so feel free to swing by and say hi.